Jafric Radio.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home on Jafric Radio.
Your online radio. The new online radio that makes you happy.
You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home.
Jafric Radio.
Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy and gay.
Jafric Radio. Jafric Radio.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home on Jafric Radio.
You are always welcome home, welcome home.
Your online radio. The new online radio that makes you happy.
You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home.
Jafric Radio.
Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy and gay.
Jafric Radio. Jafric Radio.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home on Jafric Radio.
You are always welcome home, welcome home.
Your online radio. The new online radio that makes you happy.
You've been kept down for much too long.
Hello, our cherished viewers and listeners. This is your favorite program, Home Sweet Home. We sincerely apologize for the delay of this program. Today we were having a lot of programs, so it pushes this one. We are very sorry for that. Okay, I know you understand. Okay, so if you have joined us now, please share the link with your friends and loved ones and let them join us as we are going to discuss a very important issue in our marriages. Okay, right. Okay, let me take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Bayside Modeling Agency. Bayside Modeling Agency is in Tokyo. Yes, if you are a foreigner and you are in Japan and you have a talent that you want to exhibit, all that I am telling you is that just email Bayside at info@bay-side.biz and just write, I want to register with your agency. And then the staff will communicate back to you. Okay? It's very, very simple. And I want to also thank Tomric Hotel. Tomric Hotel is at East Legon in Accra, Ghana. So if you are outside Ghana or inside and you want to enjoy home away from home, just visit Tomric Hotel. All right? You will never regret you did. They have everything that you may need. Okay, thank you so much. And back to the studio. Let me have a privilege to introduce to you my one and only Dickness, Mrs. Asare Zotto. Mama, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Dickness Kumar. Thank you, our cherished viewers and listeners, for always making time to be with us. God bless you so much.
God bless you, mommy. And also, the man full of wisdom. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. Mr. Fred J.J. Mensah. Mr. Fred, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Viewers, greetings to everybody. And we're glad to have you as viewers. May God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. And today, the topic on board that we want to discuss is lack of communication in marriage. This is a special request from our cherished viewers and listeners that they want us to repeat this same topic, lack of communication in marriage. What brings about lack of communication in marriage? But the main key for this that we want to talk about is our mobile phone and internet. And this social media has driven our marriages and family apart because everyone is key to his or her phone. So today we are going to talk about it. And if you happens to be the one that glued to your phone, then you must rethink. All right. Okay, lack of communication in marriage as a result of internet and our mobile. Mr. Fred, do you have anything to say about this lack of communication? Lack.
Well, I don't know if I understand it well. The, lack of communication as a result of the internet and the mobile phone.
Yes.
Do you want to say we have replaced the communication
Communication direct to our phones and our
are forgetting the physical
That's
communication
right.
between the couples?
Yes.
I don't think it's a good thing for every couple to do. The phone is there to give us access to a lot of communicating outside the home, but we shouldn't replace it with the physical communication between the wife and the husband or the family. So it's not helpful actually. And
It's not helpful.
yeah, it's not helpful. So yes, it's not helpful, to be honest. Yeah, that you replace that with the communication between the family or your spouse or whoever in the family with the smartphone or the internet, or it's not a good habit, and I don't encourage that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I
Mr.
don't think-
Fred said it's not a good habit.
Yeah.
I will come back to you on this. Mama, what do you have to say?
Well, thank you.
We
very
have
much.
replaced our physical communication
Yeah,
to the mobile phones.
it happens a lot, and I think that started to happen not so long ago. Before
Right.
those time that we were not so much privileged with this kind of phone
Device, yeah.
This kind of devices, it was much better. But since these devices came into the system, it has taken the place of maybe physical conversation. We are so much glued to our phones, our computers, our televisions, and those kind of things. But one thing we should know, that the communication is important. It's not, we need, as family, we need each other's ears, each other's eyes, each other's mouth, the real being, but rather it has taken a different shift. I don't think it is a very good thing. One thing we should also know, that it is something we need to learn to do. We need to make time for everything. For example, you just cast your mind back. This communication thing, most of the time, I will put much of the blame on the men.
Okay.
So we women, we are talkatives. Yes, we talk a lot. We want us to be listened to.
Yeah.
But these men, they are so busy with so many things, pressure.
At
from
first,
work.
it was graphic, They
Yeah,
came
even the
home,
graphic time, it was
and then it
somehow
was
better.
yes.
Yeah. So most of the time they come, just relax in the sofa. Either they are watching TV, they are on the internet with their computers or with their iPhones and those kind of things. But in reality, if maybe we can cut, like we can set boundaries, that maybe when I'm home, most of the time we don't spend much time at home. In the morning, some people leave as early as 5 a.m. and come back very late. So you see that we don't have much time to spend at home. So when you come back home, maybe about 3 hours is spent together. So if we can make time that once I'm at home, no phones, no computers, or even if we are going to watch TV, it should be a family thing.
Okay.
Something we watch together, a family interest that we enjoy. If not on the TV, we can decide, like maybe today we are cooking together, we are doing something together to improve the communication, because communication is very important. It can't just happen automatic. We need to learn how to do it and create time for it. Other than that, the telephone, the iPhone, phones, the computers, the TV are going to take that out, and it will go a long way to affect the family bonding.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, mommy, what can cause someone that the spouse is around, but yet the person is glued to the phone?
Yeah.
Is it that the conversation of the spouse is not, the person doesn't like, or but maybe they are not building a healthy communication life
Yeah.
that brings about this?
Yes, that's what I was saying, that most of the time it is the men who do the chasing during when you saw the lady and you are interested. Most of the time it is the men who do the talking.
Yeah.
So finally when they get
This is Jafric Radio.
most of the time the men distance themselves. Why it happens that way, I don't know. Maybe Uncle Fred will tell us today, as he's also here in the place of man. But you see that most of the time when a man come back home, maybe the lady wants to have a conversation, but we call something like bare bone conversation or skeleton conversation.
Right.
My dear, you are welcome. Thank you. How was work today? Good. What did you eat? Rice. Are you okay? Yes. Those kind of
Okay, it depends on the question. We have something like open-ended question and close-ended. So if you ask a question yes or no, that's what
No, but how
the
was
person
your
will
day?
respond.
I'm expecting. I'm not just. I'm not asking for facts.
Fine.
When a woman asks you how was your day, the woman or your wife is not asking you to just give facts.
But mommy,
The
we
woman
need to
is-
do more probing. Fine.
No, the
How
probing-
fine was it? Then you as for this, the person will talk.
Master. If your friend, like guys, so,
Yeah.
Charlie, today how was work? Then you are coming to feel
Yeah,
how was work, but when your
everything that
wife asks you,
transpired,
good.
yeah.
Yes, no, those kind of things. No, it will not help. When a woman is trying to like ask you how was your day and those kind
Yeah.
of things, your wife is not just asking you for facts. It's asking you for feeling. Add some feeling to it.
Yeah.
Give her the details of what went on. How was your day? I'm asking like, how did your day went? So please,
Maybe the
where
summary
they go.
could be fine.
Summary
of
so we need to
what
add flesh,
yeah,
but
exactly.
giving bare bone conversation, it's not fun. So maybe most of the time when it happened, it continue 1, 2, 3 times. You see that the woman will draw back and
And
feel
then
that
choose
she'll
to
feel maybe
marry the phone
exactly.
and begin to
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think as I was saying, most of the time, it is usually the men who do that.
Mr.
So
Fred,
maybe
is it true?
Well, I don't know if I understand what she's saying. Well, but yeah, she's just making excuses or
Really? Okay, please fill us in.
portioning the
Fill us
blame on
in.
the men.
Right.
please do.
Okay. Let us
it's
hear
not-
the
it's
side
Yes,
of
yes.
the men. Okay.
it's
So
not-
you are
it's not- it's
speaking
not
on
always-
behalf of the men here. If
well-
you don't defend them well, you'll be in trouble.
Well, you see, don't forget that before lack of communication or before this become an issue in the family, something has transpired
Okay.
before it came to that point. Because everybody is aware that replacing the physical conversation with your spouse or in the family with these modern devices can cause a lot of harm.
Right.
Of course, I believe every matured person is very much aware of this. So what I'm trying to say is don't forget that before you get to that point, when it becomes a problem, that means there has been a background problem has transpired somewhere along the line before it became a problem. You see, she was saying usually it is the men. It's not an intentional thing. Maybe something occurred that we want to avoid it. Because normally when you get into sort of verbal conversation with your wife all the time and there's a trouble or there's a problem at home, if you're not careful, you might react to certain methods that might not be helpful at home. Men usually won't use will not speak when they're angry at home. Some will be quiet, some will walk away, but if it comes to a point that they cannot do that, it tends to the physical responses, which is not good. So in most cases, for men to avoid such situations, yes, like I said, when there's a problem, men want to avoid it. Well, then the other thing is to turn to the mobile phone just to take your mind off certain things that can cause a problem between you and your wife. You see?
But Mr. Fred, let me ask this. Isn't it necessary to address that issue rather than withdraw? Like if you think that this is what your wife always responded and you don't like, why don't you sit her down and just talk to her how you feel about that particular issue?
Yeah, like I said, before it came to that point, it became an issue. That means something has went wrong or something has transpired. Maybe he's spoken on that issue number of occasions to the wife, to withdraw or to find a solution to it. But upon several attempts, it's not reaching a very conclusive decision, or she's not having any positive response from the wife's side. You see, and he probably cannot, just continue every day saying the same thing. And women, if you continue saying the same thing, you feel like you are pushing her to do certain things, So to avoid that, they tend to those devices, just to keep their minds away from certain things, So sometimes it's intentional, and sometimes, yes, there has been a problem that has caused that. So what we need to look at here is what causes men or what causes people, spouses, to turn to devices instead of physical communication. Maybe this is the areas that we should look at. You see, but if it has happened before and we try to apportion the blame that men usually do that, okay, we can also say women to do the same thing. You see, we can also say that women to do the same thing. They can sometimes go and stand by the mirror as if they are dressing or whatever they are doing. We don't know, just to avoid the conversation.
Ooh,
You see,
really?
Oh, this is news to me.
Oh,
as if they dress.
so mirror too has become a problem.
Yeah,
And the
what they are
makeup
doing-
stain.
Yes, so
Others could spend 5-3 hours
that
just
is it.
to make up.
Yes, you see, just to
Ah.
avoid a certain situation. So that's why I'm saying we should look at the problem that can cause such things, because when a problem comes, for me, person, I'm not sure we intentionally replaces physical communication or conversation with our wives or spouses with the devices. No, they're just smartphone devices, and no, I don't think I feel love for that more than my wife. You see, definitely I'll have to love my wife, communicate with her every day. Like she's saying, if I come home, oh, how was the day? Hey, my day was awesome, honey. This response.
It's nice, but great.
You see, oh,
Like
my day was
those-
awesome, honey.
How
I had
awesome
a
it was.
fantastic-
Yeah.
I had a fantastic, day at work. And, you can just go in and say some lovely things to your wife. But when there is a problem,
Then the skeleton one starts coming.
that
in.
is it. You see, that means, this is what I'm saying, there's always a problem under there. So that's where we need to look at. You see, what will cause people to turn away from, physical interactions, to electronic devices and, just to avoid situations. Yeah.
But nowadays, the youth especially are so key to those social media things. Some are bloggers, some are. In fact, it has become part of us that when I think if you don't go there, you think you are losing something. So most have just put all their effort just to watch, just to chat, just to, do some videos on that social media thing, and it creates a lot of problems. Others too, what they do is everything that happens in the home, they just want to put it out there. When she's cooking, it's on Facebook. When she is just doing this, even others go to the extent that when they even go to bathroom, they will just video the front view before they enter.
Yeah, I'm going to bath.
I'm going to bath, so please wait for me. Hey, viewers are coming. A lot of things are happening.
Hey, wow.
Yeah. So sometimes it might not be that there is something happening, but it's the habit that some people have, copy that they cannot stop. So in this case, if you happens to have a husband or a wife whose attention is always on the phone and the YouTube and the internet and those devices, what would you do?
Well, what I can say is that yes, it has happened. So it means, let's say that the person is now addicted to Facebook or YouTube or this social media thing. The person is now addicted, maybe to, as Uncle Jichi was saying, yes, maybe certain issues came up that has made the person to turn to this equipment for communication or something, to get some kind of refreshment or realization. So if it has happened this way, maybe as a woman, I will advise that what are some of the things that when he goes to the social media, he enjoys doing. So maybe if I'm able to get those things, I can do something to improvise something, change something at home that will capture his interest, that will capture his interest and bring his interest back to the home. So that, yes, in my case, that is maybe something that I would advise our women to do. Change something around, bring up something new, so that the person's interest will come back home after you've gotten what has been taking him to those places. So if you get those, you can improvise something that will bring him back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zafra, do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, I think she's saying some very advisable point, that she would create a mood in the house that would sort of bring the spouse attention to the family. It's very good. This is a very good way of doing it. You see, most people will not intentionally do that. But don't forget that some spouses too are not conversational. There are people who will take common jokes as serious and lament on it. You see, not every man can entertain such things. and also comments passing, how we pass our comments to our spouses, and making some expensive jokes. For instance, the way we were brought up back home, we were not supposed to mention some things raw in the family. You see? Yeah, and for these days, people don't feel shy. They just open their mouth and begin to talk about certain things. Let me give one example. I had a friend who was going to marry to a white Canadian, you see, and before they got married, I was talking to my friend one day on the phone, and you see, when I phoned him, he started laughing. I mean, the fiancée was just around, and she said the fiancé is laughing, and she was kind of trying to sort of wave his hands to sort of blow some air. And I asked him what's going on there, and he said they just give, what do you call it, the flatulate or something like that, just in front of the woman. And I told my friend, hey, what are you trying to do to the woman that you want to marry? He said, oh, but we don't care, we do it all the time. I'm saying, hey, you're going crazy. And I say, hey, be careful, because when you become familiar with certain things in the family, those things that you have become familiar with, they are the things that is going to bring hardships or sort of tensy feelings between you and her. So be careful, don't do that. We said it here the other day that even at home, to make somebody conversational, there are certain things you have to cover it up. I gave myself as an example that even using toothpick after food, you don't call your wife to go and pick a toothpick for you to do it in front of her. You see, this kind of things sort of, push her away gradually from having ordinary conversation with you. You see, so
This is Jafric Radio.
in certain areas in a family can cause people to turn away from conversation. You see,
Don't you think this thing becomes too rigid? Like, if you, like, there are some rules.
you don't have to set up rules. You don't have to set up rules like today, do the smartphone for 3 hours. No, I don't think it's necessary. You see, but it's a matter of creating a condition and bringing in some sort of conversation that would draw your spouse's attention. You see, like the Dickness was saying, you have to create a condition or an atmosphere that will draw his attention to you. Look, for example, if the wife is cooking, you can even begin to do like, honey, come and let me show you how to do some things. In the case one day I'm not at home, you can prepare it for the children. Then you can talk about how to wash the vegetables, cut them, and all that. I mean, it can prolong the conversation. You see, and the vice versa. The man too can say, maybe, honey, let me show you how to fix the bulbs. Should the bulbs blown someday, you can fix them yourself when I'm not at home. I mean, just little things to prolong the conversation, and you keep going, but not necessarily you set up rules. No, I don't think that is advisable. It will be too rigid. So, like the Dickness was saying, you create an atmosphere. Teaching your husband how to cook, teaching your husband how to do what, teach the children or whatever.
Yeah. So I agree with him. You need to create an environment that is conducive to start a conversation. And as he said, yes, you ask him to come and help you to do something, and also by asking certain probing questions. Okay, maybe you are there, oh my dear, what are your plans for the next 10 years? It calls something for more discussion. What is something about your childhood that you regret, or you like to remember, sweet childhood memories? Can we share it together? So, or how was your relationship with your...
Can this going on every day, day by day?
Of course.
You start from somewhere.
Okay.
Yes, you start from somewhere. So it's not that every day the same thing. So you have to be creative.
Yes.
You have to be creative. Just look at your husband's interests or your wife's interests, what he or she is interested in, and bring
This is Jafric Radio.
area, and you catch the person's attention.
Yes.
Wow. And one thing I want to say is, if we are having communication with our spouses we need to also do it in respect. Just as Mr. Dichi said, I listened to one program that the marriage counselors was just having, and a lady wrote her story. Yeah, that she was so nice to the husband, and the husband saw they were very compatible. And one day he was she was doing something, and the husband came and tickled her. And she thought it was a joke, and he said, "Oh, don't worry me. Do you want to sleep with me? Just go away with your small thing." And this thing was like a blow to the man. And he said, just as she said that, the mood of the husband changes. And she thought it was just a joke. So she didn't take it serious. And after that, the man didn't come home early. A lot of things happened. He was even started drinking alcohol. Wow. And there was no communication. And the woman was worried. What's happening? What have I done? And she didn't even know that this thing that she said was affected the man so bad. So she just ran to the counselors that they should ask the husband if she has done anything wrong. Then the husband revealed that just as the woman said that, it was like a bomb to his heart. And then she tried to go out to find out from other women that if that one is so small as the lady said. So it ended him up taking alcohol, chasing women, and all sort of things. So in our daily conversation and communication with our spouses, we need to also be selective with the kind of words that we choose to talk with them. If not, it may ended up in, a very, very big issue.
Well, that kind of statement was an insult. No matter how you think about it, because the woman shouldn't have said that in the first place.
A joke. She said it was a joke.
Yeah, that's why I said
don't worry me with your little thing.
There are some jokes that can be expensive. You
Indeed.
see, you are thinking it's trivial, but look at how the husband has taken it. You see, so you just have to avoid making jokes on characters. You see, yes, or mentioning certain things about the physical aspects of your husband.
Yeah,
using that as a joke.
That's true.
Like the Dickness was saying, look, the conversation can go. We have every Sunday, every 7 days, right?
Yeah.
So you can say, honey, what were we going to do this Sunday? There is no church. It's going to snow. So what are we going to do at home? I mean, look at the condition that is going to occur. Then from there, you try to devise a way of a topic, then discuss with your wife. So these holidays, your school is going to close, and you're going to be home for 3 weeks. Honey, what are you going to do? Are you going to find some part-time teaching English or what? I mean, discuss it with your wife, create a conversation with her, and you can come out and say, oh, well, maybe I will. I mean, sort of suggestions and creativity, to increase your conversation. So there will be more to talk if you start talking to your spouse. There will always be enough, to devise and talk on at home. It's not going to end. So using the device or this electronic, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Smartphone,
Mr. Fred, others may also see it as interference when they are maybe watching and you come in with some sort of questions. They just think you are just interfere.
Do you know you don't just jump into it anyhow. You have to calculate when you need to. Yeah, when you need to. Maybe before you come in, just maybe you sit by the person, what is he doing? Maybe if it's TV, you can maybe start by like talking about something on the screen that he's watching. Then you start taking him little by little. You not just jump in and just cut. No, you have to start somewhere. And one thing I also like to say is that maybe, yes, some of the things we say are very expensive. We think it is a joke, but after you say it, you realize that the person's mood has changed immediately. Approach the situation. Don't wait for
These two work.
yes. Once the thing has happened, you just said something and you see a total mood change. Oh, please, I'm sorry if I didn't say it. Now,
But sometimes it's hurt. Like after all these things I've done, it's a joke. It's a joke. I think
it's okay. You don't have to let this overlap. Because
once
that
you
would mean you
realize it,
intentionally.
yes, you realize that the person's mood has changed.
Yeah.
It's both men and women.
Yeah.
If a man, you say something to your wife and you realize the mood has changed, please just
Apologize then.
yes.
Withdraw it and
Withdraw it, and if it is a kiss or a hug or anything that you use to pacify, please
right.
do it immediately. Because immediately you leave it for some time, then things start coming in. You see that what happened to the man, the mood has changed.
Exactly.
So maybe you still continue with what you were doing. Then the devil started bringing
a lot.
different things. That the little thing build up, so much build up, and it became a very big mountain. So you saw how it ended.
Yeah.
So like when the thing started, this one day I'm sorry, hey, like you do something to just take that off the mind, even if it is maybe because he said, without your small thing, hey, let's go, so that you something to take that feeling off. We shouldn't wait. Most of the time it happens, but I think we should try to advise ourselves. If you say something to your spouse and the mood change, don't wait. Just confront it at the goal.
yeah, and I think we to add a lot to what she's saying, we have to be educational too at home. We have to learn from ourselves. We have to educate ourselves too in a relationship. For example, I know my wife likes to read, or I know she's a teacher. So what teachers does is, at any easy time, they will begin reading books, taking notes, marking papers. I know this is part of their teaching work. And I know her habit is reading. So let's say I come home and she's reading a book. She's very much concentrating. The only thing is, first, greet her. In my heart, I'll think positive. I'll think that gradually she'll have to divert her attention from me. But at the moment, she's busy reading. Look, you have to have some sort of disciplined attitude towards your wife.
Great.
So you don't disturb her. Don't jump into it.
Yeah.
It's common with everybody. When you want to conclude something in a book or something that you are doing, before you get to the conclusion, you see that you have, your mood is at the height. Yeah, before you get to that point. So don't disturb her. Just leave her for a while. Of course, she's not going to be there reading a book for 1 hour while you're at home. I'm not sure she's going to do that. So don't disturb her. Just greet her, honey, good evening, or I'm back home. Then you leave her for herself, to finish what she's doing. Then she will come back to you. You see. So we have to sort of educate ourselves too, both at home. Yeah. Know what she wants, what he doesn't like, and what will bring happiness to us. How to create conversation, how to devise a way of, communicating with the family. All this we have to educate ourselves at home. Yes, so it's good that we educate ourselves on everything, and stop making those jokes that we think is trivial, but at the end it tends to be sort of something that changes the mood of your spouse. That's not good, and that's not respectful at all.
That is not good, and that is not respectful at all. One lady also said something that anytime he sees his husband being so key to the phone, he knows what the husband wants. I say, my husband cannot see me with white bra and just concentrate. So as soon as she sees her, she just go and put on the white bra and just come and stand in front of him. Then
This is Jafric Radio.
Wow.
yeah, so you must also know what your spouse, where your spouse interest is, and when the person is too much on it, you can even, come in with what. Let's talk about those who are so much addicted, because I have heard a couple saying that even the lady, she doesn't work, she's at home, and she can stay on phone without taking her bath from morning until night. Others are so much addicted, watching movies, chatting, they don't even bath. So if you happens to have this woman, what would you do? Mere like bringing a conversation cannot stop. There are others. They are so much into their phone that when they wake up in the morning, they started watching, they don't even bath.
Do you know what? Well, he said we need to get some sort of education, right? And as couples, we are each other's teacher.
Exactly.
So, you see, I was reading an article and it says that why the women call bride the women are called bride and the man
and
is
then
called
groom.
bridegroom.
Okay.
Bridegroom. So the person went ahead to explain that it means that you, the man, you are supposed to groom the bride. You are supposed to train or to groom something, to educate your wife to your tastes.
Okay.
So maybe in a case like this, I would suggest it is not maybe now that you are going to fight with her or rain insults, be so critical, but with love, try to bring her back, educate her in love.
Yeah. And in this case, it needs patience.
Yes, because this one, the person has been addicted. And if you, from the start of this program, we said that maybe something might have caused her to shift all her attention to the phone, to watching everything watchable. Something might happen. Maybe from the beginning she tries to bring up conversation, but the man is always critical, always talking about the wrong aspects, forgetting that there is something good in her or something, forgetting that aspect. But we should also remember that they said death and life lies in the power of the tongue. He who loves it will eat its fruits. Okay, so why not choose to maybe use good words?
This is Jafric Radio.
Compliment and those things than being critical. So maybe in that case, look at the genesis of the issue. When did this thing start happening that this person is so much into her phone that she doesn't do any other thing? We should check ourselves. Where did I go wrong that I let her to drift so deep into it? And then we tackle it from there. And we have to do it in love. We shouldn't be critical.
It's true. What you're saying is true. But mommy, one thing I know of a 14-year-old girl who lost her phone and she nearly committed suicide. Because she was so much to her phone that she thought her world has ended. So if you happens to marry a lady like this, if the person didn't change from that attitude and you got married to her, would you think that it will be easy
Yeah, but I don't think you just stood up and just saw the person one day and married. Maybe
Okay.
those things might have popped up during your courtship,
Courtship,
or when.
yeah.
So maybe how did you try to manage it? Because those things, especially maybe this will go to parents. Those teenage years, they are very critical ages. Yeah, and we have to try as much as possible as parents to guide them. We are their guide. We are not supposed to do this, do that, do that. No, God has given them to us to guide them and direct them. So we, in that case, we need to set boundaries. That is to the parents.
Yeah.
But maybe in a case that it didn't happen, that the child went through those
Yeah.
times like that, and now she has become a full-grown woman that you have married. So it is your responsibility as the groom to groom your bride to how you want her to be, and it have to be in love. That's why I was saying that most of the time when we marry, we are so complacent that we don't start our responsibilities and duties from the onset. Sometimes we leave so many things, we overlook so many things. So it gets to a point that you want to correct it, but it's no more
Becomes a
correctable.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe to newly people who are about to enter into marriage, I'll always say that you should start immediately. You say yes I do, and they pronounce you husband and wife. Don't be complacent. Use those honeymoon period to set the foundation for your marriage. And if you do it from that place, you are going to enjoy a happy marriage. But if you are complacent, things will become so difficult. It gets to a stage you want to correct certain things, but it becomes so difficult for you.
Wow. Mr. Fred, is there any word that you want to say about this?
Yeah, I think what we
Those
should
that are
also
so much
know
addicted.
is, no, the world is moving forward, and what happened in the years is not going to be there, or it's not going to be the same as we keep on going into the future. Things are going to change. You see, for someone to get addicted to something, that is, he or she has been habitually doing it uninterrupted, for certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So she gets to a point that it becomes hard for the person to withdraw from it. And let's say this is a case that it happens within couples. So it means the other side has been doing this habitually and has been going on uninterrupted. Definitely the other side too is faulty. Why did you allow that to go on? Why didn't you interrupt? Interruption doesn't mean interrupt fiercely or bitterly, but try to draw her attention to a different thing. You see, so definitely there was a problem there before that person got so much addicted to it. You see, another thing too is, if let's say your wife is interested in something, and if you don't take her one day, she can get addicted to it. Well, one way is somehow get interest in that particular thing that your spouse is interested in. Try to develop some interest in it.
Yeah.
And when you have that interest in it, you will one day happen to be doing the same thing with that person. And gradually, you try to turn your attention from it. You will definitely get bored at one point. But when you're addicted, you don't know what is boring. When you happen to get used to doing those computer things, you don't know what is boring. You just keep going until something stops you. So one educational way is get interest in what your spouse is interested in. Develop that interest with the person. So when you develop interest with that one, definitely you're going to have conversation based on that.
Okay.
So at a point that you should stop. Once she's also interested in what you both are doing, you are doing the same thing, definitely she will stop and get into a different, doing something different. You see? So yes, like I said, for someone to get addicted is, if you allow that fellow, your spouse, to continue using the phone uninterrupted, talking on it, like I was saying, sitting on the phone with that bow, then what was the other party doing?
Wow.
getting angry all the time.
Getting angry.
Yes.
That means there was a problem
Yeah.
there.
Every time you want to.
Yes, that means there was a problem there. Maybe the problem would be the husband trying to stop her, but not knowing the proper way, but using abusive means,
Yeah.
or sort of being critical about her. So to show some sort of to defend herself, she don't listen to you at all. She just keep on doing what she's doing, and things get into worse. You see, so in that case, there was a problem there. For someone to sit on the phone from morning till evening without even going to the bath. Oh, this is serious. Yes.
And it's not once, not twice. It's
There
like
was-
everyday
Well,
thing.
there is a problem there.
Waking up,
Yes, there is a
being
problem.
on. Yeah.
There is a problem. They both need to find it out. Yes, because it's not normal at all. The world is changing. I know. We use the internet for a lot of things there. We in the past we would physically do them.
Yeah.
Shopping and everything these days we use the internet, so we don't have to go physically to buy those items.
Okay.
So, but I'm not sure somebody would just sit by phone just shopping the whole day. Oof.
Right. So should the communication in marriage be like verbal all the time?
No.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
We have verbal and non-verbal communication. Yeah. So like the one that the husband came to touch her, that is also a part of communication.
Part of communication. Yeah.
But because maybe she decided not to not to listen to that conversation, that has brought up all those things. So we have different form of communication.
Yeah.
Not only the
And,
verbal. we have
someone
the
will say
non-verbal.
action speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone may insult you with the body language, which the person might not even open the mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah. So okay. Right.
Well, it's also
So-
there. I mean, we say a lot. See, people should not also look at their spouses for objects. What I mean is,
For objects, right?
yes. What I mean is, maybe I love her because she's good in bed. I love her when she puts on the bracelets, or I love her when she wears these clothes. And without those things, I'm not happy with her.
Okay.
You see, if you do that, that means you're always going to have one way of conversation or communication between you the two. Because no two ways, people are not going to be the same. The way you see her in the morning, in the afternoon, she can change. You see, so people shouldn't look at objects from their spouses. See, and based on that to make decisions. No. Just see her as your helper, your loved one, and the Bible says, of course, part of you. So if you have part of you at home, you have to do things that you yourself like.
That is it.
Yes, you have to do things that you yourself like, because she's part of you, and he is also part of you. But don't look at objects that she has to put on the white glove. No, I don't advise that people should look at those things. Otherwise, you're looking at her as just an object in the house. Which,
I
Object.
really agree with him.
which I don't
because,
Okay.
think is a
yes,
good
what
way.
Okay.
what you want others to do to you, you should also do the same.
Do the
Exactly,
same
yeah.
to others.
Has some husbands want that when I come back home, whatsoever my wife is doing, she should stop
Yes.
and come and say hello to me, come and welcome me. So why is it that when the opposite happens, maybe you are at home and your wife comes, she also
Yeah.
also be,
Same thing.
yes, you should also
You don't look
go
at it and say,
there
hey, you have come.
and so or maybe you always want that when you come back home the whole house is tidy up. So if maybe the opposite happen, your wife is out and you are in, then you should also
Make sure that you
it
tidy up the
happens.
house,
Yes,
yeah.
but maybe yes, when your wife is at home, when you come back, you just come and sit in the sofa, watch TV, or with your phone, with your computer. Your wife come to serve you food, come and take everything, go and wash the dishes and those kind of things. Maybe the opposite has happened. If you also do the same thing, it's a plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a plus. But most of the time, those things, they don't happen. And I think we should, as he's saying, what you love, because the two of you now have become one flesh, definitely she will also love it.
Right.
Yeah, so what you love, you should also know that she will also love it. So what you want her to do for you, please do the same. And
Alright.
what you want him to do for you, you to do the same for her.
I have a question for Mr. Fred.
Okay.
So you think that maybe if there are certain things that you see about your woman and it just attracts you more to her, it's not good to do that.
No. Attraction
Okay.
is different from having interest in that. You see, attraction is you get attracted. Of course, it should attract you. But what I'm saying is, you don't always look at her for that object to be there. I don't know if you're trying to understand me. What I'm trying
Yeah.
to say is, for example, this is thickness. I love the necklace that she wears. When she wears the necklace, I'm kind of aroused. So I would love to see that, and when she wears that, I'm so much in love. If I do this, I'm looking at her as an object.
Okay.
You get the point. What about if that thing is not there? Should I be critical about her and say anything to her? No, you don't have to do that. You see, so it's all together. But once she puts it on, wow, honey, I like this, especially when you put this on. Oh, honey, I like this. I mean, you can just praise her, and it makes her more happy.
Yeah.
You see, we've said it here before. Try and hug your wife almost every day, at least. And we show the way to hug your spouse too.
Hugging is important. Hey.
You see, so if something attracts you, that's fine. Yeah, it's part of it, of course. It's you have to be attracted by what your wife wears, and how she is, her hairstyle and everything. You know, yeah. But to have interest in only that thing, you know, to have interest in only that thing, you know, that's what we're saying. Yeah, I mean, you know, like what is showing there, say how to hug. I don't know, by that time you weren't here, but we thought
Oh, is that the vitamins?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we taught people how to hug, you know.
Yeah, and
And-
how to kiss also.
No, we
Is-
didn't get to
that one didn't come.
we didn't get to that point. We didn't say how to kiss.
How to-
We didn't say that.
yes.
But we
Yeah,
said
it's
hugging.
that one too. It's very, very
It's
important.
very important.
Yes, some
Well,
kisses
We
are
leave it
very.
to Uncle Jechi to go
No.
to come and teach us how to kiss.
No,
No, but that one you can't teach.
kissing one love.
Yeah.
Nobody
I don't
loves
I
how
think
to kiss.
Yeah.
somebody
Nobody
sent
learned how
a
to
message.
kiss.
The person, in fact, he want the answer to this. Is the person has raised his or her hand? Is it Skilo Jet? I don't know if I'm right. But the question is not clear. So if you can make it clear for us, is that what should one do when your woman in on her when you are having sex?
When
If
she
I-
do what?
yeah, I don't get it. Your woman in on her when
Lean or what?
no the in
It's-
on her. Maybe there's something missing.
The word
So
was-
please let us know what you wanted to say so that we can help you. Yeah, Mr. Or Miss Skilo. I don't know if you are a man or woman. Just let us know what the question again.
Put the question right.
Yeah. Right. So, Mr. Fred, the object thing, I am so much interested. And I know that
I think I've given
the viewers will be also interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, like we were saying, your question was right. If she's wearing something and that attracts me, I mean that's fine. You have to be attracted by everything about your spouse. I think it's normal.
It's very normal.
Very
But
normal, yeah.
What I'm talking about the objects is, I mean, just looking at her that if she doesn't wear this, she's not attractive. If she's not in this shoe, or she's not in this hair, she's not attractive. You see, and by that you try to distance a little bit. You see, that is what I'm trying to talk about, objects of your spouse. So don't look for objects, you know. She's your wife. She's become part of you. He's your husband. He's become part of you. So everything about him or her have to attract you. You see, you don't wait for one thing to happen before you get into the mood. No.
This is serious.
So you don't wait for one thing to happen.
Yeah, I think the person has asked the question again. This is
Okay,
serious.
This is Jafric Radio.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
very
Skulu, thank you
serious.
so much. He said, what should I do when my wife is on her phone when we are having sex? I tell you, this thing, the way this phone, how it's troubling people, it's not easy.
It's self-discipline.
Yes.
We have to discipline ourselves. Why?
During sex and your wife is watching something.
It is discipline. We need to set the boundaries. Else,
Yes.
this phone is bringing so much confusion in marriages. But I think we need to put our feet down and set the boundaries. For example, in my house, immediately you get home, your phone is not yours. Okay? Even if you have a call, you need to ask permission. This person is calling. Please, can I pick? Maybe the call is keep coming or keep coming. But even that, when it is dinner time, we are at the table, you don't pick any call. The phone should be somewhere. Our food, our dinner time is not supposed to be interrupted when we are having dinner. It is something that we have set during like fellowship time, no phone. Okay, so how you two are having something, you are, so that thing, I think we need to set the boundaries. We need to, because it doesn't even speak well of us. You are having intimacy with your spouse and you are still on your phone. It means you are not there. It is all, you are there in your body, but every
Is
other
it
thing,
once or all the
it is-
time?
we need to set the
Yeah.
boundaries. We need to set the boundaries. I don't think is good.
So what would he do?
They should sit down and talk about it.
Yeah,
Alright.
sit and talk about
That's
it.
it.
because-
Sit down and talk about
I
it.
mean-
Just have a serious discussion
No,
on this.
serious
Yeah, very
discussion.
serious
Yeah,
one.
yeah. And please do it in love. Don't just stand up and
Yes.
fighting.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Patient and please set the boundaries. So most of the time when I close from work, maybe if I have the chance to take I can walk, because maybe there are some messages I need to reply, there are some calls I need to return. I would like to walk so that I will do all those things, because when I get home, the time is for the kids and my husband, and he too. That is what we have. So
Okay.
immediately he gets home, he knows that no, even if I need to pick a call, then I have to seek permission. This person is calling. Is it okay to pick? Oh, go ahead. Something like that. So we need to set the boundaries to get time for each member of the family. It is very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah, family time is good.
Family
But
time.
like what this brother is saying, I mean, the wife is disrespectful, especially during the intimacy time, holding
This
telephone.
is disrespect.
You're not paying
Oh,
attention.
no, yeah.
Mr. It's happening. Oh, a lot of people are complaining.
No.
Yes,
We
this
have
phone
overlooked
thing.
certain things.
Yes.
Others
have
even
overlooked.
started when they are doing let's say a pre-show. They call it, yeah, in a romance time they just video it, making it live,
It's
that
not
people were
nice.
seeing me,
And
my
they call
husband.
themselves couples.
Yes,
Oh,
they
there's
are
no-
doing them.
well,
And then when it comes to the real thing, they cut.
They have overlooked so many things. They have been
a lot of
complacent.
things are happening.
And things are getting out of hand. So now it has gotten to this point. Please stand up and put things right. That's all. that I
Mr.
can
Fred,
say.
sorry, I cut you short when you
yeah, I
wanted
mean,
to make a
just
point.
thinking that,
Sorry.
like I said, the world is not going to go back. We're still moving forward. Things are not going to be the same as we had in the previous days or
Yeah.
in the previous time. But it doesn't mean misuse the chances.
Misuse. That's the
Yes,
word.
that it's ahead of us. You see, like spending time forgetting about your husband or your wife and just gluing yourself to the phone. This is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Relationships, especially marriage, is supposed to be a happy thing. You see, it's supposed to be a happy thing, and it's supposed to have a happy ending at all times. You see, and in the process supposed to be happiness. Look, there will be lot of waves, no problem, no two ways about that, confusions and everything. But if you set your mind that you want this to be a happy marriage, of course you're going to have a happy one. You see, like the Dickness was saying, when they come home for family time, they make sure both of them, their phones are off, just to pay attention to the kids. This is a very good way of educating. They might not have set the rules, but it's something that they have practiced and they've gotten used to. You get my point?
Yeah.
Personally, I was doing the same thing. Hey, for me, I work with computers. When I go home by computer, I can say I'm addicted, but not when I have my family time. No. I make sure I shut the computer off. You see, spend time, especially when my little girl comes home with her homework. You see, I just shut the computer off, spend time with them, make sure I teach them. And this is a country too, if you don't try to teach them English, they're going to forget everything.
That's right.
So I used to use those times, to spend time with my family. There are no rules, but personally, I don't want to, bring in these devices. I know it will sort of take away the time that I have to spend with them. So it's a very good way of education. You need to practice that. Yes, you don't have to set the rule, but talk to your spouse. Honey, if we don't start something, that we don't put these phones away, then spend family times, it's probably going to be an issue one day. So you practice with your spouse, and gradually you see that you yourself, you'll be away from it when the family time is up. You see, so you have to train yourself to do that.
Yeah, training, self-training.
That's what we're saying. You have to educate yourself.
Yeah. I think our time is, yeah. The time is fast spent. And we have some few announcements that I need to chip in before we end this program today. We have a funeral announcement. We have our Dickness, Mama Susie Efriye, Susanna Efriye. She has lost her mother. Yes, she has lost her mother. And they will do the funeral at Asante Mampong on this February 25th. So she is inviting all Insanity to come and mourn with her as doing the funeral of her mother. Okay. Mama Susanna Efriye of Sagamihara Assembly. Okay. And then the next is our brother. Many people know him as Brother Okoto. Is it Okoto or Okoto? Okoto, okay. Yeah, she's also at Sagamihara, in Sagamihara Assembly. He also lost her mother, sorry. And the funeral celebration will be on the March 26th. March 26th. So he's just making this announcement to let you know that on the 26th of March, he will celebrate the funeral of her mother. And it will be in Ghana at Ebenezer Presbyterian Church.
This is Jafric Radio.
Ebenezer Presbyterian Church. And the town, Enum. Is it in Eastern Region? Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's close to Akosombo. All right. So we want all the friends and loved ones to this date. And please, if you have the chance, attend the funeral, or you can even send people at home to represent you whilst they are celebrating this, the life of their mothers. All right, thank you so very much. Thank you, viewers. Mr. Fred, just one, let me give you 30 seconds to summarize what you want to say in regards to this lack of communication that we are talking today.
Okay, lack of communication is not good. Yes, in any relationship. And it's bad, it's worse, especially between couples. So make every effort and develop effective communication between you and your spouse and your family as well. So without communication, there's no growth, there's no improvement. You cannot educate yourself. And yeah, the kids or the children that comes out of you will feel the blunt of that ineffective or lack of communication. So I advise you to have effective means of communication and yes, develop it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. Mama Naomi.
Yeah, communication is very important, as we've talked about from the beginning of this program. And I also want to say that we should always create the right atmosphere for communication. We should not be critical. We should have a teachable spirit. Yeah, we should be ready to learn when we make mistake, and we should be committed to each other in all things. And one more thing, when our connection, if we make God the owner of the family, the owner of the marriage, we, in fact, most of our burden is lifted up. So who is the owner of your family, of your marriage? Let God be the owner of the marriage, and everything is okay. Don't be critical. Correct in love. Yeah.
Don't be critical. Correct. And love. And make God be the center.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. I got a message from my one and only, my husband. Said, very educative.
This is Jafric Radio.
Bless you all. Elder Foko, God bless you more. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Right, Elder. Yes. As for Elder and I, communication is our hallmark.
Amen.
I tell you, it's yes. So we bless God for that. Amen. Right. Okay, so viewers, we want to end here, and then we will come back next week. Okay? Next week. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution, your messages. We do appreciate them all. Thank you so very much for being there for us all the time. We just want to say thank you to Bayside Modeling Agency, and thank you to Turmeric Hotel. Yes, Turmeric Hotel and Bayside. They have been supportive. Yes. And if you are out there and you want to sponsor this program, please don't hesitate to come. We need more sponsors, to help us giving out this educative information to the public all the time. So please do well to, support this program. We just want to thank our DJ for the program, DJ Plus,
This
the
is Home
producer
Sweet Home
and
with
executive
Abina
producer.
Poma, only
Nana
on Jafric
Yauko.
Radio.
Nana,
This is
thank you so
Jafric
much
Radio. This
for
is
being there
Jafric
for
Radio.
Jafric all the time. My name is Abna Poma Poku Foko, a lady with a long name. Yes. Until we meet again next week, we say sayonara.
Sayonara. Sayonara.